Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, class 8. Welcome back once again after a long gap. I was taking up hydrogen in the last turn, and I had taken up the preparation of hydrogen by the action of water and acids on metals. That is by the action of water or steam on metals. Then I had taken up with boiling water with steam. That is, as you move down the activity series, the ease with which the different metals react with water, that decreases, and you have to use cold water, boiling water and steam and so on as you move down the activity series of metals. Then I had taken up the preparation of hydrogen by the action of dilute acids on active metals. By the action of dilute acids on active metals, and I had taken up that when metals react with the dilute acids, they liberate hydrogen gas and the respective salt. Today I will proceed on with the laboratory preparation of hydrogen. So hydrogen gas is prepared by the action of dilute sulfuric acid or dilute hydrochloric acid on zinc in the form of granules, that is small pieces. And these granulated zinc are what? They are containing traces of copper as an impurity, and that is with a purpose, that is copper as an impurity acts like a catalyst. What is a catalyst? Yes, it contains copper as an impurity and which acts as a catalyst. Catalyst is what? It is a chemical compound which alters the rate of a chemical reaction without itself being consumed or changed at the end of the reaction. So here this copper that is present in granulated zinc as an impurity acts as a positive catalyst. That is, it increases the rate of the reaction. That is the reaction that is with zinc and hydrochloric acid, and what does it release? The zinc chloride and hydrogen gas is formed. And if it is sulfuric acid, then the corresponding salt, that is zinc sulfate, is formed along with hydrogen gas. So now we will see how this particular experiment is done, or how the hydrogen gas is prepared in the lab. So what do? We take zinc granules and dilute sulfuric acid in this flat bottom flask. Is that clear? This is a flask and this is the flat bottom flask. And what do we have apart from this? This is the Thistle funnel and this is the delivery tube. This is a stopper which contains, that is at the top of this flask is a stopper which contains two holes, and in one hole we have the Thistle funnel and the other we have the delivery tube. Now this is the trough, or and this contains water. What do we have? We have a gas jar inverted over here. Here we have the beehive. Is that clear? It is a small slab like structure with a hole. Is that clear? Small slab is made of silica. Is that clear? This is a beehive shelf. So what do? We take zinc granules over here, and this particular apparatus or the Thistle funnel, through this we add the acid which can be dilute sulfuric acid or which can be dilute hydrochloric acid, and it should touch the dilute acid. It should that is wherever it should be at the lower level only, and it must be completely, while dropping the HCl, it should be the HCl or sulfuric acid should be so much that it completely covered with dilute acid. This Thistle funnel should be completely covered with the acid. And in the later explanation I will tell you why it should be covered. Then this is the delivery tube which will, through this the hydrogen gas will pass and it will be collected in the through the beehive shelf in this gas jar which is inverted. This blue part that you can see is water, and this arrangement or this method of collection is known as the downward displacement of water. Is it clear? So when when the acid is dropped in the flask over the zinc granules, a vigorous reaction takes place between dilute sulfuric acid and zinc granules. Is that clear? So bubbles of gas are seen rising up. That tells that there is a reaction going on, and this hydrogen gas can be seen rising up and it is collected over here and bubbles will be seen rising up in this water also, and the gas will be collected over here in this gas jar. Is that clear? Now this is known as the downward displacement of water. Now hydrogen is lighter than air, thus it can be collected by downward displacement of air, but however it is collected by downward displacement of water. Is that clear? Just because air hydrogen mixture is explosive. Is it clear? So it is not safe to do so. It is collected over water only. So hydrogen is sparingly soluble in water, and hydrogen is sparingly soluble in water, thus it absorbs moisture during collection by downward displacement of water. So a dry hydrogen gas is obtained when it is collected over mercury. This type, it will contain traces of moisture, so it later on it can be passed through a column of mercury and can be dried. Is it clear? Next is, what are the precautions which should be taken? This apparatus should be airtight, since I have told you that the air and hydrogen mixture is explosive and it can be dangerous, and we should not involve any heating in this process, because hydrogen gas is inflammable and can cause an explosion. Then I told you that the lower end of the Thissell funnel must be completely covered with dilute acid in order to do what? To avoid the escape of the gas evolved through the funnel. Is that clear? From here only, through this funnel, the gas will start going out. Then why don't we use any other metal apart from this zinc in the laboratory preparation of hydrogen? Now sodium and potassium, they react with acid violently. Is that clear? The reaction can be violent and can be dangerous also. And calcium and magnesium, both are expensive, so this preparation has to be cost effective. Is that clear? Now aluminium does what? It forms a protective layer of aluminium oxide on its surface. So the amount of gas that will be produced will not be very effective, that not much of hydrogen gas will be formed and the reaction will stop. Now iron needs excessive heating, and due to this what happens is that the impurities like hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide gas are produced. Now I've just told you that iron has to be heated, and due to this impurities like hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide gas are produced. Is it clear? And we cannot even use lead, because it reacts with dilute sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid to form salt, like lead chloride with HCl and lead sulfate with sulfuric acid. Then we cannot even use copper, mercury, etc., because they come below hydrogen in the activity series. I have told you that the metals or the elements which lie below hydrogen in the activity series will not be able to displace hydrogen from its compounds. So metals which are more reactive than hydrogen itself can displace hydrogen from acids. So I have just told you, thus they do not produce, or they do not react with dilute acid to produce hydrogen. So zinc, granulated zinc, is the most preferred metal for the laboratory preparation. Is it clear? Next is the Bosch process, and it is one of the most suitable methods to prepare what? To prepare hydrogen gas, and that is, it involves various steps. When hydrogen gas has to be prepared and at a large scale, we use Bosch process. So what is this Bosch process? It consists of 4 basic steps. That is, first is the production of water gas. Now for this, what do? We use superheated steam. That is steam at about 170 degrees Celsius, and this is passed over a hot coke which has been heated at 1000 degrees Celsius, and to produce water gas, that is, which is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Is it clear? It is a mixture of both, and this is done in a specially designed furnace which is known as a converter. So first step is the production of water gas. You can see that Superheated steam is passed over hot coke, that is coke heated at 1000 degrees Celsius, to prepare water gas, that is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. And it is done in a specially designed furnace which is known as the converter. The second step is reduction of steam. What is the process of reduction? Reduction is addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen, in simple terms. Is it clear? So, excess of steam is mixed with water gas and passed over heated ferric oxide, which is a catalyst, along with a promoter, that is chromium oxide. What do you mean by promoter? Which adds up to the activity of the catalyst. And this reaction is known as the water gas shift reaction. You can see that carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas, that is the mixture of water, this is water gas, and we mix steam to it in the presence of a catalyst, that is ferric oxide, and a promoter, that is chromic oxide. Is that clear? And what do we get? We get carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. Then we have to remove the carbon dioxide which has been prepared. It is not needed in this process because this is the preparation of hydrogen gas on a large scale. So what do? We take up the next step, that is the separation of carbon dioxide. Now this is the third step, that is separation of carbon dioxide, and the reaction mixture now contains carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Carbon dioxide needs to be removed and this is passed through caustic potash. What is caustic potash? It is KOH. This is known as the caustic potash, that is potassium hydroxide. So this absorbs carbon dioxide. That is how it forms a compound called potassium carbonate and water is formed. Is that clear? So this is how carbon dioxide is removed, and this separation of whatever carbon monoxide is left now is removed. How? It is passed through the solution of cuprous chloride, and this removes the unused unused carbon monoxide. Is that clear? So mixture is passed through a monical solution of cuprous chloride. This cuprous chloride, that is CuCl, as to dissolve carbon monoxide and the hydrogen gas is obtained. This is obtained in the form of an additive compound of carbon monoxide. Is that clear? And thus pure hydrogen is left behind after following all the above mentioned steps. What is left behind is, now carbon dioxide has been removed, carbon monoxide has been removed. What is left is just hydrogen gas. This is the Bosch process. Now move to the exercise on page number 98. Now tick the correct option. During the process of electrolysis, the gases collect at the cathode and anode are, yes, at the cathode it is hydrogen and oxygen is at the anode. Is that clear? This is the right answer. So next is, which of the following is not a strong electrolyte? It is, of course, ammonium hydroxide, because rest of them are all strong electrolyte, that is sodium chloride, hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. Then in the reactivity series, metals are arranged in, yes, decreasing order of their reactivity. Next is, which of the following metals cannot be used for the preparation, does not react with cold water to produce hydrogen gas? Yes, all of them, that is potassium, sodium, calcium, they react with cold water, and iron reacts with steam. Is that clear? And which of the following cannot be used for the preparation of hydrogen? It is, yes, it is dilute sulfuric acid on sodium, dilute sulfuric acid on potassium, dilute sulfuric acid on zinc granule, and concentrated sulfuric acid on platinum. And this can only be used for the preparation, that is dilute sulfuric acid on zinc granules. Is it clear? Next is fill in the blanks. Blank is the most important compound of hydrogen that covers almost 2/3 of the Earth's surface. It is water. And next is the process in which an electric current is passed through an aqueous solution of a substance or a molten state of a substance to bring about a chemical change is called as the electrolysis. Is it clear? Next is the electrode connected to the positive terminal of the battery is the anode. Metals react with dilute acid to liberate hydrogen gas and the respective salt. During the Bosch process, superheated steam is passed over hot coke to prepare water gas. Is it clear? So please revise the chapter. We will proceed on with the properties of hydrogen in the next lecture, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.